Hey everyone, welcome back for a brand new spoiler-filled video about that show that's a survival guide for a zombie apocalypse, The Walking Dead. Warning, beyond this point there are major spoilers for people who are not up to date in The Walking Dead TV series and comics, and even for those of you who are, as these spoilers are from the next episode which hasn't even aired yet, not even on AMC+. In this video we're going to give you a Rampage recap of the many and very specific spoilers that were leaked this week from a very reliable source who hasn't been wrong once in all of Season 11. These spoilers are pretty much exactly what's going to happen, people, and they are filled with lots of details. We also want to go over a photo that's been going around trying to debunk the news of Rick's return and explain how it's been misleading loyal fans. But first, let's take a look at these spoilers. Before we get started with the spoilers, we once again have to give a huge shout out to the AMCWALKNGDead. They have a perfect track record all season long, and we really appreciate their dedication to helping the hardcore fans find out what's next before everyone else. To be clear, we aren't sharing their spoilers word for word, as the account owner specifically asked that the images of the spoilers that they have leaked do not get reposted. We are honoring their wishes and giving you our summaries of all the information. We will leave out some of the more minor details to make sure you still have some small surprises waiting when the episode airs. If you do want to read these spoilers word for word, you'll have to go over to the AMCWALKNGDead Instagram account and follow to see for yourself. Okay everyone, now it's
spoiler time,
and your last chance to skip to the next chapter. The first storyline we're going to cover is Eugene's. The episode starts right where the last one left off, with Max, aka the original Stephanie, talking to Eugene in a dark alleyway. Sounds like a recipe for classic creepy Eugene if he wasn't so bummed out from his catfishing experience. Basically, this scene gives us Max's side of the story ever since she started calling out to Eugene's radio way back in the Season 9 finale. Max actually created the radio she used to communicate from old broken electronics she found in the dumpster. Apparently, Max is almost as big of a nerd as Eugene, and all the stuff they talked and bonded over was the truth. Eventually, Max's brother, who happens to be Mercer, found the radio in her room and gave her the interrogation treatment. We learned from Mercer that Lance Hornsby knew someone was communicating with the outside world, but he never figured out that it was Max. Mercer is scared for his sister and tells her to stop. Max doesn't go to meet Eugene in the train yard, but apparently Lance and his spy team were eavesdropping, and that's how Eugene ended up meeting a bunch of stormtroopers and fake Stephanie, who we now know is named Shira. This scene also lets us know that there was never any Stephanie. Max used that name because it was her mother's. So the mystery of the two Stephanies has finally been unraveled. The scene goes on to reveal that Stephanie didn't tell Eugene the truth at first because Eugene seemed so happy with Shira that she just didn't know what to do or say. The scene ends with Eugene storming away from Max in tears. After all the mind games he's been dealing with, we don't blame him. The next storyline we want to cover is the Commonwealth's trip to the survivor communities. It seems that Lance wants to help build up Alexandria, the Hilltop, and Oceanside so that he can run them and gain enough power to overthrow the governor. The governor understands that he's trying to gain more power, but to keep him happy, she tells him he can do what he wants with Alexandria as long as Maggie agrees. The governor and the convoy of Commonwealth troopers take tours of the communities and try to win Maggie over in the process. There seems to be a fair amount of walker killing in this episode, but not much other conflict. We also find out in this storyline that Governor Milton knew the OG founders of Alexandria, Deanna and Reg, before the apocalypse, and we seem to get a tender moment from Daryl talking about how much he admired Deanna as a leader. During the tour of Oceanside, the governor wants to make a trade deal with the beachfront community, but their leader Rachel says no unless Maggie gives the deal her seal of approval. We respect the solidarity. On the way over to the hilltop for the final leg of the governor's tour, the convoy runs into a group of walkers until Maggie and her team roll up and kick some ass. Governor Milton and Lance try to butter up Maggie, but she's very cautious, although they allow Daryl to give apples to the people. What the hell is it with Daryl and apples this season? That's the third time he's been associated with apples in 4 episodes. What do you think? Is this some sort of biblical reference that Daryl will find out some knowledge he isn't supposed to? Daryl and Maggie have a nice reunion moment, and we also get a great scene between Mercer and Daryl where he's trying to understand Maggie's reasoning for living with Herschel out in the wild. We're really starting to see that Mercer isn't as gung-ho about the Commonwealth, and he's more about keeping people alive, which makes him a perfect candidate to be a part of our survivors group. The storyline comes to a boiling point when Pamela tries to convince Maggie to get on board with the Commonwealth, but Maggie is not feeling their vibe at all. She thinks that the cost of what they're offering her communities will be too high. What do you think? Is safety worth buying into the class system of the Commonwealth? The story ends with Diane, the OG red shirt, and some others deciding to leave the hilltop for the security of the Commonwealth. Really, Diane? Now let's go over Carol and Ezekiel's storyline. Carol goes to visit Ezekiel and asks him about his health. Ezekiel tells her that he's been bumped up the line of surgery, but she already seems to know, and Ezekiel picks up on that. Ezekiel finds out how Carol did Lance favors to get him bumped up the list, and Ezekiel is angry because he doesn't feel it's fair to everyone else waiting to have surgery. Whatever you want to say about Ezekiel, you can't deny that he's a stand-up dude, which is also why Carol wants to save him so much. Carol points out that the governor wouldn't hesitate to do the same thing for her shitty son, but Ezekiel still seems very angry. The storyline wraps up with Ezekiel being wheeled into surgery, but we don't know how that goes. With Ezekiel spotted in those pictures for 11C, it seems like the surgery worked, but it's also possible he's dying and going out with a bang. Finally, the story returns back to Eugene. He has a great scene with Rosita where they talk about the Commonwealth, and Rosita seems kind of indifferent. She can tell something is wrong with Eugene, but he doesn't tell Ro about the PSYOP mind game he just got put through. Instead, he just tells her that he broke up with Stephanie. Towards the end of the episode, we get Eugene going to Max to apologize for being a douche to her. They seem to start to bond again like in their first radio conversations, and they talk about Eugene's book, which he sadly burned up in episode 11. Could Eugene be a best-selling author waiting to happen? Sadly, those are all the leak spoilers we have. We believe these leaks cover almost all of the episode, which doesn't seem like it has a lot of action. There are always slow periods in every season that build up the characters, and it seems like that's exactly what we have here and in the last episode. There are some rumors of a major character death in episode 14, but we will do some more investigating before we give you our take on that situation. What do you think? Is season 11B slowing down too much? Will the build-up be worth it?
You mother puss bucket!
Are all these spoilers true? Now let's talk about a photo and some misleading information going around on social media regarding the return of Rick Grimes. As most of you probably know, Andrew Lincoln was spotted in downtown Atlanta during the filming of the second to last episode with no indication that the Grimes movie is anywhere near being shot. The Walking Dead's director of photography has also stated that there would be a Rick Grimes related announcement soon, which tells us something TWD related is happening with the former flagship series frontman. Recently, a group on Facebook who we will not name shared this photo of Lincoln back in the UK. The post claimed this picture was taken days later after the original photo and suggested that maybe Andrew was not returning as Rick after all. We found the original photos of both, and they were dated 1 full week apart. We believe the person or people who reposted this photo saying it was taken days after his trip to Atlanta were either trying to mislead people or didn't do their research. Andrew Lincoln could have filmed multiple scenes in secret during that week he was there. It's also possible he could be going back for even more. It's common knowledge that Andrew Lincoln flew home on weekends to be with his family, so really this photo does nothing but cast doubt onto Rick Grimes' return without any real evidence. We just wanted to debunk the situation and stress that people should do their research before jumping to conclusions. To be very clear, there's no confirmation of Rick Grimes returning yet. We believe the evidence provided so far does prove that he will return. Don't confuse proof with a confirmation, people. They are two very different things. Whatever happens, we just hope we get the ending we deserve from this series that has brought happiness and entertainment to so many fans. What do you think? How will the final scenes play out? Will the Commonwealth be taken over by our favorite survivors? Or will there be a massive war with the CRM? Only time will tell. Thanks so much for watching our videos, everybody. As always, we're on the lookout for any new leaks, spoilers, or insider info to help prove or disprove all the rumors out there about our favorite show that can turn even the softest guy into a maniac, The Walking Dead. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Rampage. Click the notifications bell for our channel so you can see our next video as soon as it comes out, and don't forget to subscribe.
What I would hope to see is Rick Grimes again. I wouldn't mind putting on the cowboy boots again and maybe even getting my hat back.